In just 6 months, I developed and released a JRPG on Steam with no game dev experience whatsoever. Hi everyone, my name is Kevin Musto, and this week I released The Curse of Mount Madre on Steam, a JRPG I developed on my own without any experience. Like many of you, I grew up playing JRPGs and always dreamt of making one. But I was never good at math, so learning to program was something I had to give up on. I wasn't that talented as an artist either, so there was no way for me to stand out. I flushed away my ambitions of ever making a game and became a filmmaker instead, since I loved telling stories and writing and directing movies was something I could actually wrap my head around. It's possible you're watching this and feeling like you can relate. I'm here to encourage you and tell you, you can do it too. If you're a writer, play to your strengths. For me, it's screenplays, but maybe you write short stories, novels, poems, pen and paper campaigns. Whatever it may be, it means you have a knack for creation. I started by writing a screenplay for a hypothetical JRPG. For anyone who's never written a script, screenwriting software is free and easy to learn. At the time of writing it, I had no goal of ever developing it. For me, it was just a fun writing exercise to see what it would be like to write for a different medium, having to account for how a player would have to get from point A to point B and so on. I wrote a story that was about 20 pages, something short and something that was relatively small in scale. Don't write something with huge spectacle moments or set pieces. If it can't be easily animated or portrayed on screen, it's no good. Understand your limitations. I sat on the script for many months until I finally decided, why not make it an RPG Maker? RPG Maker is simple enough for anyone to learn, and while the visuals wouldn't look good, I could at least feel proud about making a game from start to finish and fulfilling a lifelong dream. I did some more research though, and I found a new software called RPG Developer Bakin, which was very similar to RPG Maker, but it allowed for 3D game development. There were also enough easy to follow YouTube tutorials that I felt like I could make it work. As a filmmaker, personally I was sold on its capacity for making cutscenes, so that's the route I took. In general now there's a lot of engines that use visual scripting that require either no coding or a very limited amount that most people can learn. Do your homework and find the engine that suits your needs. Because I wrote a script that was feasible and small in scope, it was easy for me to chip away at developing the game bit by bit, since the end goal was always in sight. There were never any moving targets. Finally, I got about 90% of the way there and decided I wanted to spruce things up. I launched a Kickstarter for my project and asked for the absolute bare minimum I needed to commission a character portrait artist, a composer, and a cast of voice actors to perform all the cutscenes. The Kickstarter was a success, and I was able to add an extra level of polish to my game. It's important to note that had the Kickstarter failed, I still would have released the game. It wasn't something I was relying on to get the game made, but the extra boost from it helped out a lot. Now the game is finally out. I don't expect much from it, and ultimately with the cost of buying the engine and some assets, I probably won't even break even on it. But as someone who makes short films, there's no money in short films, I'm more than familiar with that. If even one person plays and likes the game, that makes it worth it in my eyes. All that to say, I wanted to make a motivational video and share my story for anyone out there who's like me. There are plenty of ways to make a JRPG, or even video games in general of other genres, that are easy enough for anyone to learn. So do it. If it's something you've ever dreamt of, you owe it to yourself to try.